Hi everyone, I'm Prerna and today I'm going to talk about how biotechnology can be used to produce important human protein using animals. In particular, I will focus on lactoferrin, which is an antimicrobial protein, and how transgenic cow can be used to produce it in the milk, which is the aim of this presentation. The main idea of this presentation is to show how the system works at a molecular level and why it is useful for the large scale production. I will start by explaining the problem and why approach is needed, and then we'll move forward how technology work, followed by mechanism and key evidence, and then its application, and finally the limitation. So first, let's understand why we even need this type of technology. So to understand why this technology is important, let's look at the problem. Lactoferrin is a natural antimicrobial protein that helps inhibit bacterial growth by binding iron. Because of its health benefits, demand for lactoferrin is increasing, especially in medical and nutritional applications. However, natural sources like human milk are limited and are not scalable, and traditional systems such as molecular or cell culture often have low yield and improper folding. This creates a need for a more efficient production system, which leads us to the use of transgenic animals. To address this problem, transgenic cow are used as a biotechnology solution. In this approach, cows are genetically engineered to carry the human lactoferrin gene, which is placed under a mammary gland specific promoter. This ensures that the protein is expressed only during lactation and secreted into the milk. As shown in this systematic pathway, the gene is integrated into the cow genome and then targeted to the mammary gland, allowing milk to act as a natural system for large scale protein production. This sets the foundation for understanding the biological mechanism of how this protein is produced. Now, to understand how this system works biologically, let's look at the mechanism. First, the human lactoferrin gene is integrated into the human genome. This gene is placed under a mammary gland specific promoter, which ensure it is expressed only during lactation. As shown in the diagram, in mammary epithelial cells, the gene is transcribed into HLF mRNA in the nucleus and then translated into protein in the cytoplasm by ribosomes. The recombinant lactoferrin is then secreted into the milk, allowing it to be easily corrected. This clearly shows that how the biotechnology approach leads to the biological mechanism and finally to the production of a functional protein. Now, to support this mechanism with evidence, this graph shows the expression level of recombinant human lactoferrin in transgenic cow milk. As we can see, the expression levels range from about 4.5 to 13.6 gram per liter, with the highest level observed is one of the transgenic cow. This indicates that the system is capable of producing lactoferrin at high levels. Importantly, the recombinant protein also retained its biological activity such as iron binding, which confirm it is functionally similar to natural lactoferrin. This result suggests that the transgenic cows are not only efficient but also biologically effective protein production. To further validate this system, let's look at its functional and large scale production. So this slide shows how both the functional activity and scalability of recombinant lactoferrin production is it. So as shown here, the recombinant protein retains the biological activity, including no iron binding and antimicrobial properties, and is comparable to natural human lactoferrin. In addition, large scale production is achievable with up to 400 to 450 grams of recombinant lactoferrin produced per day from over 100 liters of milk. This production pipeline from the transgenic cow to purified protein demonstrate that the system is not only effective but also scalable for the industrial applications. This result clearly supports its potential as a pharmaceutical platform. Building on this, let's now look at the real world application of this technology. Based on this, recombinant lactoferrin has several important applications. Firstly, in antimicrobial therapeutic. It inhibits bacterial growth through iron sequestration, and it's also like widely used in infant nutrition where it supports gut immunity and microbes development. In addition, it is also incorporated into the function foods and supplement to the enhance overall human um, immune health. Importantly, this system also provides a scalable platform for pharmaceutical protein production. Together, these applications highlight that the recombinant lactoferrin is a multifunctional bioactive protein with strong real-world relevance. However, despite these advantages, there are still many limitations to consider. Firstly, there are ethical concerns, as genetic modification raises questions about animals' welfare. In addition, regulatory approval for genetic modified animals is complex and time consuming. There are also high production costs associated with developing, breeding, and maintaining transgenic herds. Furthermore, biological limitations exist, such as competitions with endogenous milk protein, which may reduce recombinant protein yield. Overall, this whole of the system is highly promising. With these challenges needs to be addressed for wider applications. With this in mind, let's summarize the key take-home message now. Um, to conclude, transgenic cows can act as an efficient memory bioreactor for producing human lactoferrin. The recombinant protein production is functionally active and achieved at high yield in milk. Overall, the system provides a scalable platform for antimicrobial and therapeutic protein production. These points highlights the strong potential of transgenic animal biotechnology for real-world pharmaceutical applications. These are the key references that supports this presentation, including primary research and review articles on recombinant lactoferrin production in transgenic animals. That's all. Thank you.